Come on. We have an excellent panel coming up now. It's the pitch panel. Last year, this was a very a popular panel because you got a chance to see investors and companies kind of interact. So if you've never done a pitch, this is a good time to learn how or how not to pitch. And you'll hear also the questions that these investors will ask will not be like the questions you might get on Shark Tank or something like that. This is a little bit more intricate than that and more detailed. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are getting the stage set up for our own version of the pitch. But our host for this this panel is Greg Monterrosa. And I'm going to have him join me up on stage. Greg, come on up. Big round of applause for your host. He's wearing a Crowd Invest Summit shirt. Let's give him a microphone, if we will, right here behind you. Or a bottle of water.
I love it. Welcome to the Crowd Invest Summit, everyone. Thank you, Carlos.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm one of the founders and community managers for Hub 101, which is a space in Westlake Village that helps startups and entrepreneurs create, launch, and grow their businesses.
Hub 101 is a very, very active operation. You guys have all kinds of people show up there.
Oh, we've got over 100 people that call this space home, people raising capital and growing their businesses left and right. It's a blast.
And you walk in and everybody's heads are down. They're all working like crazy on their desk. So it's great to have you here, and we're going to have some investors come up. Greg will explain to you what the process will be. There'll be some companies as well, and that'll be giving their pitches. So I'm going to turn the time over to you for the next hour. So enjoy.
Thanks, Carlos. So today's format is going to be, we're going to have 5 startups, and they're all going to have 3 minutes to present to us, followed with 3 minutes of Q&A. The judging criteria is going to go based on scalability. Where are they? Let's see here. Whether they grab our attention, do they clearly present their product? We're going to explain. They need to explain the service that they provide and their competitive advantages. So with that said, again, our format's going to be 3-minute pitch, 3-minute Q&A. Can we give a shout out to Alon and Yosef for putting on such an amazing event for us today? So those guys have called Hub 101 home, and they put in a lot of hours to this event to ensure that you guys gain the most out of it. So be sure to tag them on social media and show them the love that they deserve. So with that said, we're going to bring up our judges. We're going to go ahead and start off with, oh, they're getting mic'd up. So the order of the startups will be, up first will be Globe Chat. So, Joe, we ready to go? All right, so let's give it up to our awesome sponsors for the event and exhibitors. I'm going to single some out here while we get set up for the event. People are getting mic'd up back there. So a huge plug for American Airlines, getting ready to fly them soon. Thanks for being a proud sponsor. Next Gen Crowdfunding, those guys are awesome. They're helping a lot of companies out there gain valuable information. We also have Stradling, close friends of ours. They work with a lot of the startups that I work with. Shout out to some of our exhibitors like RepWatch out there and Flightbike doing their thing. Those guys are making great moves throughout the region, and keep an eye out for them. We have Realty Vest, Verify Investor, Smart Planet, Origin Investments, Disclose, a lot of amazing people that came together for this cool event. So are our judges ready to come on up? Cool. So let me introduce to you our judges.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
We've got Jerry Knotts. Give it up. Sharon Amezcua. Dear friend Asher Leids. So I'm not going to go into their bios. These guys are here, so they're obviously amazing people. Feel free to go to our website to learn more about them and hit them up for cash. Especially Jerry, the guy's loaded.
What, are you addressing gray hairs again?
Peter? Yeah. Cool, and we have Peter Cowan. Give it up. So with that said, we're going to call up our first startup, Globe Chat. Are these guys ready? Yeah, just come on up. Give it up for Globe Chat.
Thank you. The world has never been more divided, and the biggest problem in communications is the language barrier for individuals as well as companies. The world we live in is divided by language and by distance. I've traveled to 60 countries, and after doing that, I realized that there was no network to easily communicate with anyone on the planet. So, a few years later, I created it with the idea that I wanted to create one unified network to connect everyone on the entire planet. We're a combination of Skype, WhatsApp, Google Maps, and Google Translate at a high level. We have some intellectual property on top of that, but that gives you an overview of what our company does. We're available on Android, iOS, Windows, desktops, laptops, and so whatever platform you're using anywhere on the planet, you can utilize GlobeChat. Our IP is for the system and method of multilingual communication, the ability to send a message in English, for example, to 40 people in 40 different countries, and all of them to get that in their own language at the same time. Second part of our patent is the ability to filter search anyone on the planet from thousands of different filters. You can communicate with people based on commonalities, and you eliminate the language barrier when you do that. We're a restricted trademark as of last year. I spent 15 years in telecommunications with AT&T. I was with the Government Education Medical Group. I retired in 2014 to pursue GlobeChat full-time. I have a little experience in media as well. I've produced a few feature films. The other side of the equation is my CTO. He's amazing. He comes from the government and education space as well. Some of the largest companies in the chat space are WeChat, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Line. Not a lot of them generate a lot of revenue, but they all have very high valuations. So according to Mark Zuckerberg, messaging is one thing that people do more than social networking. As a matter of fact, 4 out of the 5 top networks today are messaging applications. The days of Facebook and Twitter are going down. The days of messaging are going up. How has our growth been? We've been growing steadily month over month without advertising. We're putting all our money into our technology and not into the advertising. We're in 152 countries already since launching last year, and again, growing organically. We launched in the United States. However, now only 5% of our users are in the US. The other 95% are all overseas right now. There's 3 parts of our business. GlobeChat, which we already launched, and we're in 150 countries. We're launching GlobeDate, based on the same software, the ability to date anyone on the planet. That will generate some revenue, and also it's generating some interest for us from a lot of single people. And of course, what's emerging most prominently for us right now is our API, the ability for other companies that are existing, that are global, that are having problems with communication. We're simply going to license it out to them, and we're going to help other companies become better. We have a lot of opportunities emerging for us with that right now, and we're launching that in October. And my final screen, just to give you an idea of what it will look like. I had my team evaluate the top 30 dating and chat apps in the world, and so we took the best elements of each. So in addition to having a translator, we wanted to have a solid app as well. And so we've incorporated that into GlobeChat. Thank you.
So now we'll take Q&A from our awesome judges.
Sure. So I'll start off. Hi. So nice presentation to start off, to state the problem and state the opportunity. What I'm interested in from an early stage view is not just the number of people who have downloaded the app, but the experience of the users, the frequency, and the challenges you're overcoming. Because invariably, big opportunity, you're coming up with something, you have some credible people around it, but I want to see the specific problems you're solving and the audience, how deeply engaged they are. Can you articulate that?
Yes. So there's 2 components to it. We have GlobeChat that's growing organically. There's some enhancements that we're raising funds for right now to to grow that, to connect people. We're adding a radar feature so you can see people around you. We've noticed that a lot of people that are using it, it could be growing faster, so we're going to add the ability for people to connect easier with people that they know as opposed to people that they don't know. And we're going to transition the getting to know people you don't know over to Globe Date. So we're separating that part of the business. It's very easy for us to do because we've already built out the software, so we're just putting another face onto the engine. The API is more importantly what we're most interested in. We just got a message this morning, we got invited to China. So we'll be presenting in China and Korea within the next 30 days. And so that is emerging as something that is more of a growth area for us.
Just one last thought. Thank you. What I'd be looking for are some discussions on specifics, like the engagement, how
Right.
long people are engaged, what they're talking about, what sort of conversations are the most, resonating with your group. What have you discovered as the niche that you're going to work to scale?
In terms of the existing platform, Globe Chat.
Yes, I understand the others are the future, yes.
Right. Globe Chat, we have group chat rooms where people can go in and get involved with other people around the world based on commonalities. They need to be enhanced. That's an enhancement that we're making because the involvement is there. It's just not, we made it too complicated, and we're simplifying the app to get more user engagement. So that's part of what we're doing right now, in addition to growing Globe Date and the API. So.
Two quick questions. How have
Yes.
you funded to date?
Pardon?
How have you funded to date?
We've gotten $1.2 million in funding. About $800,000 of it was from me. Another $500,000 from angels, individuals, friends, and family.
Thank you. And how is this thing going to go viral?
How is it going to go viral? We realize that there's a lot of chat platforms out there. Even though we have something unique, it's growing steadily, but not as fast as we would like. So we realize instead of going viral, we will incorporate our software into everybody else who's already successful, make them better, and then we'll make revenue by default on that. The viral part is harder than building it into existing platforms.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Globe Chat.
Thank you.
So how many of you here are looking to raise capital or in the process of raising capital by a show of hands? Love it. Now, how many of you guys are active investors in the room? Love it. Keep it up. Support our community here. So, NoDAC Coolers, we're ready for you whenever you are. Let's give it up for NoDAC Coolers.
Back to the judges.
Hi, I want to thank everybody for allowing us to be here, our judges, the audience, and Joseph and his crew that put all this together. And I want to tell you about what we have. It's kind of an exciting thing. And we've all heard the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, the cooler has been a broken item for years and needed to be fixed. We fixed it. We reinvented the cooler. Hi, I'm Gordy Christensen, the inventor of NoDAC Coolers. This is my wife, Lori. All of my life, I've had a cooler, either for hunting, fishing, construction, or any kind of activity. And like everybody that does own a cooler, when that ice melts, water gets in your food, your sandwich is floating, anything you have, it gets wet and it's soggy and it's no good. And nobody likes a soggy sandwich. And it doesn't matter how thick the walls are of a cooler, how much you paid for the cooler or the brand name for the cooler, ice is going to melt. And when it does melt, it's going to get into your food. And what I have designed, we have a patent and patent pending, is two prototypes is what we have up on the screen there. It's a food cylinder where ice and water surrounds this food cylinder. It acts like a refrigerator. It keeps your food cold and dry. And on these particular models, any ice melt, or you can put water with the ice, the lid always stays on, so it becomes drinkable water. And so it's a multifunctional cooler. And they work well. I have a construction company. I've made several workable prototypes, and we use them out on the job site all the time. And it's kind of fun, actually, take your food out of this cooler and it's cold and dry that day or the next day or even the following day. Just, yeah, very enjoyable to have. And so with that spigot at the bottom of the cooler, you can, again, drink that water. And it really is obvious to the world, actually, that there is a problem with melting ice getting in your food. You look up on the internet, there's links all over on the internet telling you how to pack your food in a cooler so when the ice melts, it doesn't get wet. In fact, one of the big manufacturers nowadays, on their brochure, it'll say on there, make sure you pack your food and keep an eye that the water doesn't ruin your food. And it should say in parentheses, buy a no-DAC cooler. And you wouldn't have that problem. And cooler companies today, they also tell you how long their ice lasts. They'll say it lasts 7 days or 10 days or some even longer. And really all they're letting you know is how much time you have before your food gets ruined. Buy a no-DAC cooler. And no-DAC cooler is the only cooler that can prevent this and has another compartment actually where you put your drinks and your ice. And so that is a separate compartment right there with that. There's 50 million coolers sold each year, and no-DAC coolers is the only cooler that's actually made both for food and beverages. You know, if you think about it, your regular traditional cooler, any brand name out there, they're just really made for drinks. You know, they're just a big box, and in that box they put their ice and their sodas and beer and food in there. And but again, when it melts, it's just no good. So really, just meant for ice. You know, we've all been on a picnic where it's full of beer and ice, and that's what it works best for. And right now, today, we have our engineered drawings done, and we're ready now to get our molds made and get the product out there. And with your help, we can make this happen and have a better cooler for the world.
Sweet. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. Thank you very much for presenting. Any questions from our awesome judges? Here you go.
Hold on. Yeah, 2 questions, real simple. I think we talked earlier. What's your price point?
Pardon me?
What is the price point that you're targeting?
With the first one we're going to be making, it'll be $450, and the product is actually going to be a roto-molded product, which it is more expensive to make a product like that versus the injection mold, your lower-end coolers. So we'd be looking at $450.
So you're really going to have a new part of the market.
Well, and the companies that have come out now, you know, they all are a roto-molded product, and they are a higher end.
Okay. I would suggest you define what that market is, because other people are thinking they're going to Kmart and buy one of these. That ain't going to happen.
You know, they make coolers nowadays that are up to $1,200.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying you need to point that out because it's really good. The other thing is mobility. You and I talked about the weight, and you need to include the comment you told me.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and the weight is something that was a factor that we talked about at the beginning, and there is different options, and one being an injected molded product, which then does become lighter. The one cooler that we're going to be making first does have wheels on it and a handle where you can be pulling it, but there does get to be some weight with the roto-molded product. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. Anybody else?
I have a question. This is really
Sure.
a solution without a problem. I mean, so I have a cooler. I use, instead of ice, I use ice packs, so nothing's melting. So,
Right, but what does happen, and truly I've grown up almost every day of my life I use a cooler. You can put a sandwich or food in a baggie or a Tupperware, and if it touches an ice pack or ice, it does transfer moisture through that into your food, versus like in your refrigerator, kind of basic same idea, it won't transmit that moisture. And it's kind of the same principle way back 100 some years ago when we had the original ice chest that Holmes had. Same principle on that.
And my second question is, when I saw the picture of your cooler, it looked as if the space you have, you've compartmentalized it. So it looks as if you now, because of the way you've done this, you have a very small amount of space for your sandwiches and all that because of the way you did it, unless I saw the picture wrong, but it kind of looks like you've now taken away a lot of space because of the way you've done it.
You know, but the space is now organized. It's not wasted space.
I love it. Thank you very much for your time. Give it
Yep,
up.
thank you.
So while we wait for our third participant, Coding Autism, to come on up, there's a lot of people that make events like this happen that are behind the scenes. Companies like J&B Events, our awesome PA, VA people, thank you very much for helping us out. And with that said, Coding Autism, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Oliver Thornton.
And I'm Austin Weinhart, and we are Coding Autism.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. Okay, so these slides are different. Okay.
Coding Autism slides up on the TVs here. Thank you.
All right.
So we can take it from the top again. Let's go ahead and reset the time for them, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oliver Thornton.
And I'm Austin Weinhart, and we are Coding Autism.
Did you know that 1 out of every 48 children in the United States are born with autism every year?
Did you know that 40 to 60,000 individuals with autism will be graduating high school every year?
Lastly, did you know that roughly 80% of all adults on the autism spectrum are either unemployed or underemployed? As an individual with autism myself, I find the statistics to be completely unacceptable. Despite these negative statistics, there's been a positive trend from technology companies hiring talent on the spectrum. The reason behind this hiring initiative trend is because companies have identified the characteristics of talent on the spectrum, such as obsession for repetitious tasks, meticulous attention to detail, introversion, and the statistics that recently stated that talent on the spectrum has a 30% less error rate in technical jobs than neurotypical individuals. In fact, companies such as SAP, Microsoft, HP, and many other technology companies have publicly advertised their autism hiring initiatives, which have been so successful they've decided to ramp these initiatives tenfold for recruiting.
Our solution to the autism hiring problem is a fully immersive and integrated coding bootcamp specifically designed for the needs of people on the autism spectrum. We train in both front-end and back-end web development, which qualifies our candidates to be eligible for entry-level web developer positions. In addition, our program is fully integrated with soft skills training, focusing on social skills, communication, and career coaching. Because often the problem with autistic talent getting hired is not their technical capability or their intelligence, but their social and communication skills. So by integrating these two together, our candidates are best set up for success.
Let's talk about the market facts. Last year, the coding bootcamp market size was roughly $200 million with 18,000 coding bootcamp graduates. In the current economy today, there are roughly 530,000 computer science-related jobs. In terms of market opportunity, there are roughly 500,000 individuals aging into adulthood within the next 10 years on the autism spectrum. In addition, by 2020, there will be roughly 1.4 million computer science-related jobs. And lastly, the EEOC recently made an announcement that they're increasing the percentage of disability hires required for the federal contractors from 7% to 12% by January of 2018. By 2020, Coding Autism aims to graduate and place at least 1,500 autistic students in tech jobs.
One of the questions we most commonly get asked is why would an autistic candidate choose our program over a neurotypical boot camp? Some of our key differentiators are smaller classes, specialized learning, career advocacy, and more. These are just some of the offerings we have on our roadmap for the future.
Again, thank you guys so much for listening to our presentation. We are Coding Autism. We are currently seeking investment capital, so if you have interest in making any investment in our company, please email us or find us personally at our expo table. Thank you.
I love it. Let's give it up.
So I thought that was a thoughtful presentation, and you brought a lot of key elements that my being in the tech world and understanding some of the hiring needs, you're thoughtful about and familiar with autism, and I think you did a very good job of getting to some key points quickly. My question, though, is how will it work? What kind? How will you charge for it? Is there a specific audience you have in mind? And the other question is, do you have the endorsement of these companies that will hire to support you and make hires?
These are all great questions. Our programs are tuition-based, so the candidate would be paying the tuition to enroll in our course, which is a full-time program that runs for about 4 months.
And costs how much?
And we're pre-launch for our first cohort, but it will be priced comparable to what neurotypical boot camps charge, which ranges between 10 and 20K for enrollment.
To elaborate more on that in terms of the tech involvement, a lot of companies that have publicly announced autism hiring initiatives such as SAP, Microsoft, and HP, we have been in consistent communication with them and building relationships with them to possibly pipeline talent from our programs. We're currently operating in Westlake, California, and having our first program is slated for Q1 of next year. We've also been in communication with many companies that have an interest in hiring talent on the autism spectrum or are considering it in both the San Francisco area as well as the Los Angeles area.
I have one question. What's your professional staff? Who are your experts?
We have a highly qualified social skills coach who has had over 17 years of experience working with autistic youth and adults. And then in addition, we have senior developers who've developed our curriculum for the technical side as well. So these two halves together will set our students up with a really great curriculum and course.
Okay.
In addition to that, we also have a really business-savvy advisory board who's been able to help us from a wealth of different supports, from legal to developing our LLC to coding bootcamp experts and much more.
Explain to the audience and to us, how one program can actually help many different people on the spectrum. Do you have to customize the program for each element of different aspects of autism?
And that's a great question. For this program, at least for our initial offerings, we're focusing on a very select group of candidates that we feel confident we can place in jobs. So it won't be for everybody, but there is a great selection of candidates that are highly intelligent and capable, and with the right accommodations could be incredibly successful. So those are the candidates we're screening for.
I love what you're doing. I think it's a fantastic thing. My one question for you is, I mean, obviously, the size of your market, in some sense, at some point you really kind of plateau. Is there anything that you plan on doing that can kind of increase or what you're doing, kind of get to more scale?
So a scalability question. Okay, so for the numbers that we showcased on the slide, those are for physical course offerings. What we do have in the works is developing an online program which allows us to scale on a lot larger of a scale than physical locations where you're restricted to, say for example, coding instructors and soft skills therapists being on site and having your candidates go to one particular location. If you look at companies like Block.io that are exclusively online, where they do their training through Skype presentations and one-on-one training and focus, there's an enormous opportunity for scalability there. We just really want to scale down or focus our attention on our primary in-person programs until we have all of our kinks and whatnot ironed out, so that when we do roll out that online version, that we're doing it in the best way possible.
Love it. Let's give it up for coding autism people.
Thank you.
Thank you. So up next we have LifeCube, and while they're making their way up, don't forget at 2 p.m. we have getting your corporate house in order before crowdfunding. Very important, crafting your story before the campaign kicks out. At 3 p.m., platform and funding options, and at 4 p.m., the future of crowdfunding, which would be really exciting. So up next, let's give it up for LifeCube.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Connor. I'm with LifeCube Incorporated out of Santa Barbara. We have a shelter for disaster relief, and our shelter is inflatable. We are here today seeking $2 million to launch our new recreational version of LifeCube. It should be much smaller, cheaper, and lighter. Everybody always wants to know why I did a shelter. And I'm a serial inventor and a builder of many years. And I saw this Pakistan earthquake news clip one night where mostly the commentator said all these guys are going to freeze to death on the mountain because there's no way we can get them any shelter. And I thought, this is the 21st century. So I went to work on building a new generation of shelters. And we can maybe get this thing to work. Cool. So now that became my dream, to where my dream is to see cubes raining out of the sky, coming out of C-130s, falling on desperate people. Monster Tent is a version of Cube LC-12. We're scaling that down to an LC-10, a smaller, lighter version, as I mentioned. That will be our new recreational version. Over technology, we bring all the equipment. It's a better one? Thanks. We bring all the things to disaster that you need to survive. It's always been water, food, first aid, communications, heat. Those are the things you need to make it. And of course, shelter. Well, sometimes bigger is actually better. Come on. So the problems and solutions are the same as they've always been with disaster and relief. You have to have all the provisions delivered at one time to cut down on the logistics of continual delivery of sources. Everything comes in one cube, in one delivery package. We have communications. We've done that one. Our floor. Our floor is what sets us apart. It is our core IP. It is issued. It is a raised hard surface floor, and it folds out. It's what the cube transforms into the floor. Infrastructure. Our infrastructure allows LifeCube to withstand 65-mile-an-hour winds with no tie-downs. This is a picture down at the plant where our manufacturer is a DoD manufacturer that started in 1944 and actually invented the life raft. And this is some of our IP. Mostly famous is cap and beam, which even our manufacturer says is a major industry interrupter. Our competition, we're set apart from our competition simply because of our floor. And I have run out of time, so I'll be kind and let you cut me off nicely.
So we'll go ahead and open it up for Q&A from our awesome judges here.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. It's a very thoughtful presentation as far as the technology and what you're doing. What I'd be looking for from an investment side is that you've shown that you're a thoughtful, creative inventor, and you've got a solution that has better features. What I'm looking for is a client or a customer or a government that says, if you could do this, I'll buy them. And who are they? What are they doing? What's compelling, and what's the price point?
Okay, so first off, we have a deep team. I have a large team, 8 people, and we've been around a while. We're not a startup. We've deployed and done PowerPoints at FEMA on C Street and DC, and they love us. The FBI recently took one of our units for a trial basis and is ready to purchase. The camping industry that we've been doing research on is enormous, and we are very interested in that. So we have lots of market share. The platform itself lends itself to numerous applications.
And how much is it?
I'm sorry. The fully loaded LC-12, solar, heat, communication, everything runs about $15,000.
15.
Yes, but that's an M-spec product. That is a DoD manufactured M-spec product, so it's very durable.
How much would that be for camping?
Well, the new camping model, we're going to try to be in right around $3,900, and we'll be at half the weight, half the cost of the LC-12.
Awesome. Thank you very much, LifeCube. Let's give it up.
All right.
Thank you. So who here grew up watching our MC, Carlos Amezcua? I know I did, and I had to remind him back there that he's a local legend. He's down in San Diego now, so hopefully he'll make his way back to LA soon. So with that, let's welcome our final startup, Heart and Check.
So, hi. Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Alexey Vinogradov, and I'm an investor entrepreneur with 25 years experience, and I'd like to represent you a product called Heart and Feet. This is interesting things happening now on the wearable market. With a special parameters called heart rate variability, we can provide much more smart recommendation for athletes. But with current optical technology, we can't, because accuracy not enough to provide that. And on the cardiovascular market, we cannot do a preventive diagnostic because we don't find a comfortable things to do it. And what we can do in one product a smart garment based on EKG technology. It's a medical technology which provide high-level accuracy for heart rate variability, smart recommendations, and also provide, based on AI, diagnostic for arrhythmias. A business model pretty easy. We are selling a garment with device and a small subscription fee, and our team like to provide a subscription-based only model when we ship every quarter a new garment and a device. It's a competition landscape. It's a couple of companies provide the same products, but they not provide same comfortable way and diagnostic in one product. And here is a team on the board. I have a medical doctor, Dmitry Fitkov, and me and myself as experienced businessman. And we done a lot of things while we done pre-orders on a Kickstarter. We got a publicity award, and we are now in production and start shipping in 2 weeks. And it's just pessimistic financial projections. We like to get in $2 million annual sales in 2 years. And just to compare, one company which provides the same technology, just a T-shirt, was valued at 100 millions. It's an Israeli company called Health Watch. That's all. It's my contact information. Welcome to my bus if you need some more information, and happy to answer any kind of questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, first of all, I think you're to be commended, because in your presentation, you're the only one that's done that. You've put together a financial forecast, you've talked about numbers, you've given a sense of a roadmap of what you're going to do, and I think that's a very thoughtful thing that investors want. I think I walked away from this one trying to understand what this product does better than others, though, in the market. Could you explain its competitive advantage from a product and use experience?
Yes, sure. Compare with current wearables, it's much more highest accuracy for measurement heart rate and heart rate variability, which can provide a good smart recommendations for athlete. It's compared with wearables like Fitbit or Apple Watch. Compare with medical devices now completely uncomfortable for users. You have to clip electrodes to the body, and you cannot wear it, trust me, 10 hours or something more. And algorithms based on machine learning can save a doctor's time. Doctors now spend like 3 hours per patient just to watch a one-day measurement. This is what we like to change.
Where do you stand with the FDA?
510K in the process now, and I hope next year I will done it with FDA. It's government, so slow.
Okay, so your claims are being very cautious?
Yep.
I'm interested in how comfortable it is to wear. How does it feel on?
You can just try. It's a not now, not on the stage.
Another show.
I mean, looks like a regular T-shirt. You can take a look inside. Electrodes is a textile based, and this is what replacing the medical technology. Now it's a clip it to the skin. If you're familiar with that.
How do you intend to sell it? What's your marketing approach?
Yeah, I'm focusing now on online sales and focusing for people who do activities, who visited the gyms on a sport. But surprisingly, I got a lot of pre-orders for aged people who just like to wear it while walking to understand how effective activity for body, even walking or do some kind of things.
In different colors than that, right?
Exactly. Now it's two.
And does it integrate with iPhone, Android, every?
Yeah. It's an app. It's integrated with Apple Health and Google Health.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. So now I'm going to go ahead and collect clipboards from you so we can tally up the votes. That was our last company.
Can you give us 1 minute to tally it up?
Please do so. So on that note, can we give it up again to Alon and Yosef? I saw them floating around here somewhere. Alon, Yosef, thank you so much for this event. Gained so much value these past 2 days. And how awesome was Marcus this morning? I mean, the guy is a legend. Let's give it up to Marcus, too. So we'll go ahead and start collecting these up if you guys are ready so I can bring them to our amazing people backstage. Thank you. So can we get all the startups up here for a picture, please? Thank you. Cool. I know we have a photographer floating around here somewhere. There she is. Give it up to our photographer, too. She's been on her feet all day. Thank you so much for capturing these moments here. Come on. We got a few more coming in. All right, so I was able to wrangle one of our amazing organizers and a dear friend of mine, almost a brother from another mother, Alon Gorin. Let's give it up for this guy.
Greg interrupted my tweeting, so I pardon the 3 minutes I didn't tweet today. No, but what? Did you talk a little bit about these folks really quick? Because I brought them up here because they're some of my favorite investors. Did you guys say something about yourselves yet? Let's hear it. I want a 30 seconds from each of you. Let you guys talk in your own words.
Hello, everyone.
We're going to start from that side. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's working.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Asher Leids. I'm an angel investor. Started because of an accident I had a few years ago, so I focus a lot on healthcare. But actually, I want to say something real quick. I'm going to be, on the 26th, I'm going to be moderating a talk by Jason Calacanis, his book, Angel. So everybody come out. It's going to be here in the Valley. So anybody who's interested, come out to that. You can just look up Jason Calacanis book tour, find out where that is, and it should be a very interesting talk, and you'll learn a lot about investing and what investors look for from that. So I look forward to helping out with all that.
Sharon.
I'm Sharon Amezcua, and I'm so happy I'm one of your most favorite investors.
One of my most favorite.
I'm amongst a really great crowd here.
When Jerry's not in the room, you're my favorite.
Oh, there you
But
go.
when he's here, I'm just scared of what he'll do to me if I say that somebody else is my favorite. He's not actually my favorite, though.
Talk later. I've built and invested in hundreds of companies with a lot of really smart serial entrepreneurs, and have been in this business for way too many years, so we won't go into exactly how many. But most recently, I'm most proud of the fact that we've launched the first startup stock exchange globally, and the only requirement is one round of crowdfunding before coming on the stock exchange. And it was launched, the idea of my business partner, whom I must give the credit to, in England. And we have launched in 50 countries now, so you're going to start seeing a lot more about it. So look up allied.sx, and we are very well integrated with everything that Alon and Joseph are doing. So we're excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Jerry Knotts. Applause there. Woo! No, that's not for me, that's for her. Yeah. No, I'm Jerry Knotts, president of the California Coast Venture Forum in Santa Barbara, and chairman of the Entrepreneurs Without Borders. We took CCVF and went international. Did that, we're 22 years old, not me, but the company, CCVF. We funded so many companies, it's pathetic. I think it was over 200 of them. And we raised close to $200 million in about 15 years of that company. And we decided to go international, so my partner sitting in the back there, Curtis Park, came up with an idea to do Entrepreneurs Without Borders, and now we're in Finland, Brussels, Belgium, England, we're looking at Germany, and we're in Canada. And we're having a ball. And let me tell you, if you brought a mix of that assortment of the company or countries I just mentioned, you would not be able to tell the difference from what I'm looking at. They are young, and when Curtis and I appear, we're the two gray hairs in the room because they're all 10 times younger than we are. But they are really good, they're professionals, and we're really proud. And I'm very proud of my son over here, Alon, and all the wonderful thing he's done, okay?
Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, and Alon, thanks for letting me participate in this. I've really enjoyed it, and it's very exciting to see all of the entrepreneurs that are here. I've been an angel investor a long time, but I started off by creating a couple of companies in the software space, and looked up, and I realized over the years I've invested in about 50 companies. I helped set up Tech Coast Angels in Los Angeles with a couple of colleagues, and now I teach at UCLA Anderson in strategic planning. But I still love investing in exciting entrepreneurs. My focus is often on technology, particularly software. We put a conference on called the Recurring Revenue Conference. We're really focused on subscription economy or deep customer engagement and feedback you get with a loop with either an API, feedback that comes from online and different sorts of engagement. And we think this is truly a renaissance time for entrepreneurs, and we're excited to see that the area is flourishing. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you guys all for coming.
Check, check. So the moment we've all been waiting for this hour, time to announce the winners. So for the first time in Crowd Invest Summit history, we have a tie. So with that said, can we get Coding, Autism, and LifeCube up here, please? Congratulations, guys. So if we can ask the judges to go ahead and stand up so that these beautiful people can take amazing pictures with you. Our sponsors have put together an amazing prize pack for you guys, and Alon, Joseph, or Joe is going to reach out with what exactly you get. But congratulations. Let's give it up for these people. Thank you very much.